And then know that there's going to be challenges. Try to look at them as lessons, look at them as moments of opportunities for growth. What can I learn from this? And it's easy to get down, it's easy to get depressed, it's easy to get sad or even angry and frustrated, and feel those feelings too, because those are all there for a reason. But know that those are the lessons, and then I'm going to keep growing, I'm going to keep evolving, and I'm going to that next stage, and this is how I'm going to get there. And it's true. And then when things get too much, take time to pull away, recharge, and also on a daily basis have rituals and things that you're doing that really helps kind of energetic hygiene of like recognizing what you need and don't need, taking moments to meditate if that's a part of your daily rituals, taking walks in nature, getting out of like the day-to-day grind just to be, leaning into that feminine energy is essential so that you can hear those whispers, you can hear that guidance. It keeps you on the path. Welcome to the Meeting Your Soul podcast. My name is Farah. I'm your host, and I'm so grateful that you're here. And I am really excited to dive into today's topic of beginning again. This obviously can occur at multiple times throughout our lives and in pretty much every area of our world. And I have experienced a pretty extreme transition and began again in a lot of different areas all at once this last couple of years. And I thought that I would share some things that really helped aid me as I moved through those different stages and how I gained clarity on how I arrived at where I am now today. And I am extremely grateful that I was able to move through it from this intuitive place that really helped serve me and keep me aligned within my highest self and truly what I feel like I was destined to do. But with all of that being said, there was plenty of speed bumps along the way, and a few of which I probably could have avoided. And so I wanted to share with you some of those lessons that I learned as I switched careers, added it on, became a single mom, changed relationships, ended my marriage. Moved to different city, just throw it all in there, the whole gamut of really what you could possibly change about your life. I did. Lost 30 pounds, completely shifted my style and how I was representing myself within this world, moved into radical self-acceptance and love and the process of all of that. And it was not easy. There definitely was a lot of challenging days. To say that I stayed up late crying quite a few nights would be an understatement. But I made it through. And now that I'm on the other side, I feel the duty and almost the privilege, truly, to be able to share with you my experiences and to be able to hopefully support you and give you some tools to be able to move through whatever transitions you're going through in a more seamless way. So let's go ahead and dive in. So there's 4 different stages that I really want to cover. 1, the self-reflection, as you are approaching whatever shift that you're thinking about making, and kind of reflecting on and evaluating really what you want and why a change is necessary at this point in your life. And then creating that vision of what you are trying to and envisioning yourself where you want to be. So creating this plan and executing it from a place of, some practical, pragmatic steps, as well as some magic and some intuitive insights and pings that can help you along that path. Then we'll also talk about the challenges, knowing that there's going to be difficult moments. There's going to be moments that are going to cause stress, that are going to maybe even make you falter in why you're doing it, and some opportunities for when to incorporate self-care, when to give yourself permission to slow down, to reset, to recharge in order to continue on bending so that you don't break. Okay, so let's start with this evaluation period. So I think the first thing that's most important, or at least for me, that I feel like is absolutely essential before I make any shift, is I really kind of do some internal dialogue. Like, I gotta check in with myself. Like, what's going on in my life? What areas am I content with? I do this like honestly, like every day. But then there's also like, there's like checkpoints like at the end and like middle of the year, the beginning of the year. Each month I reflect on the previous month. So there's like always these opportunities for me to be able to slow down. And that's honestly what it comes down to. So easy for us to be able to just keep moving through the motions, to keep plowing forward, that we forget what it means to be able to even like, am I happy? Do I enjoy this? Like, do I want to make a change? And sometimes you're in the churn of it all that you can't even like take time to reflect. So I think first and foremost, giving yourself the opportunity just to slow down, to be able to inquire within how do I feel when I'm living in this place? How do I feel when I go into my job or my career? How do I feel when I'm in my relationships and my friendships? Am I getting recharged and am I getting fueled by it? You know, that's not a constant. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, but really thinking about, is there a pain point within your life that keeps coming up over and over? And one other point that I always say is like, there's always these little whispers from our intuition, right? Like there's these moments where we just get this like knowing that something's gotta give. You know, like you're just like, God, again? Or this happened at work again? Like, God, I don't like this. I'm so unhappy. This like is wearing me out. I hate what I'm doing. Like those are some really strong thoughts. And I think that sometimes they become so constant, they become so familiar that we forget that that's not actually how we have to live our lives. And you are so deserving of having a life that you're excited about, that you're enthusiastic about who you're around and the things that you get to experience and contribute to the world around you. I truly believe that we all have our own genius. We all have our own dharma, our purpose for why we're here. And to live in alignment with that is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself and the world around you. So if we're not in that, if we're not attuned to that, if we're not listening to that, we're not listening to that insight that's coming through, that wisdom that comes through, then we're not going to even recognize when things are going astray until it's too late. So giving yourself the space to be able to reflect on that. And if you already are having these moments where you feel like you're kind of banging your head against the wall, so I like to say, I tend to have to like run up against the wall a couple times. Like people can be like, Vera, are you sure you should do that? And I'm like, yeah, I'll be fine. And I like just do it anyways. And then I like trip and fall on my face. And you know, that's a part of it too. Sometimes I need to experience that to be able to really like learn my lesson, if you will. But there's some moments now where I trust myself, and trusting yourself enough to know what's right for you. Trusting yourself to know if something's not adding up, something doesn't, is draining you, is constantly like energetically like just causing you pain and anguish on a regular basis constantly, something's not right. You don't have to live in pain and sadness and anger. It's not like, we're not meant to live that way. And again, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's not always perfect. Things aren't always, you know, bliss. But there's an opportunity, I think, just little micro shifts to be able to notice. I truly believe, and I've read this in many different spiritual texts, discomfort is there for a reason. We experience discomfort in order to grow. And sometimes discomfort occurs within your life because it's time to move on. It's time to push out of the cocoon that we're in, to be able to, like, the butterfly doesn't like just be able to, like, the cocoon isn't like paper thin that just goes poof and they pop out. Like there's a lot of like growing, and all of those moments and that struggle is actually how they get to be the butterfly strong enough to be able to survive in the world. So, but there is that period where, is it a butterfly that's like hanging out near a flame and keeps rubbing its like wings up against like an open flame, like fire? That's what we're doing when we're putting ourselves in situations that no longer are serving us. And I'm not telling anyone to do anything. Trust yourself. You know what's right for you. You know what's not. And lean into your gut in that. And then when you know for certain, I could either accept this as it is, or I can change it. And you have to know which way you're going to lean. Are you going to accept it? Is this how your life is going to be? Then find some joy in it at least, right? Like have some good moments. Like let's not like completely like torture ourselves. Like we're not meant to be tortured every day either. And so like accept it, let it be, then so it is, or change it. Have the courage to make a difference. And so if you're planning to make that difference and you're planning to start something new, really take the time to plan that out. Like when I moved to Seattle, it definitely did not occur overnight. I thought the idea came to me about 6 months before I actually packed up. So I started scouting out different neighborhoods. I'd already lived in Seattle, so just like giving you a little bit of context that I'd already lived there for 10 years. I was extremely familiar with the different areas, but this was a different world. I was shifting my career up there. I knew that I was going to be traveling back and forth between Tacoma and up there on a regular basis. My daughter goes to school and university place, so I knew that I was going to be commuting on a daily, 2 to 3 days a week at least. And so with that knowledge, I was like, okay, that's going to kind of shift to where I would have, where I'm going to pick to live, what neighborhoods, and then those were neighborhoods I wasn't familiar with. So I started just cruising around. I started like literally walking around neighborhoods and like exploring them, trying out different coffee shops, watching the people that came in and out, like trying out different restaurants, asking my friends, like really doing my research, like I'm a very much a researcher and very analytical. So like I have to like really break something down. And so I like spent, then researching, okay, like looked at a few places, like, okay, if I lived here, I can live here, but this is the rent, like what's, what it's like around it, like what's the neighborhood like, walkability, what's most important to me. I also like, I'm a real estate agent, so like this comes, like me helping people move and really evaluating what neighborhood they want to live in is like a part of my life. And so for me, it was very easy to be like, okay, these are the things that are most important to me. I need to be able to have an easy commute. I want walkability. And I want a reasonable, manageable like rent, and I want to be able to park my car inside of the building. So those were like my things. And so I like really took the time and I researched quite a few neighborhoods. That was about 3 months just looking at different neighborhoods. So again, like slow in my roll, like just kind of easing out, and like also recognizing if I was moving my career up there within my real estate business, who were people that I could potentially work with? Where was my clientele? How was I going to shift my marketing? Like, how was I going to make that transition as seamless as possible? So started working on that, started researching the neighborhoods, and I was already doing that, but I was doing that also then for my business. Investigating stats in the area, looking into what the median price point was within different neighborhoods, what were the breakoff points, like I just, I went in pretty deep because I really wanted to understand it, and I didn't want to harm myself. I didn't want to make things harder for myself than I needed to. And so I spent a lot of preparation in that. And then once I got clarity on kind of what area I wanted to move into, I started picturing my life there. And like holding the vision, creating a vision. If you're more of a visual person, like having like a vision board where you actually like pick out what are the themes, what are the main points that are important to you, that are most important to you, so that those moments where there are struggles or things doesn't work out exactly as you thought they were, like what's that criteria that equates to contentment for yourself, and really just like zeroing in on that and not letting the rest distract you, because it's really easy to get distracted when we're making these shifts because there's so many options. Like if we're getting out of this, then like, whoa, my world just opened up. So what do I want to be? Who do I want to be with? Like what relationship, what lifestyle do I want? All that comes into play. And again, that goes with the self-reflection, thinking about what you want, and then actually like crafting this new world that you want to be able to cultivate on an energetic level. How do I want to feel in whatever place I move to? How do I want to feel within a new relationship? How do I want to feel within my career? What is my day-to-day? What does that look like? And how do I envision myself in it? So I think that period of time was just equally as important. And then from there, recognizing there's gonna be some struggles. Like there's gonna be some fucking bad days. All right, I'm gonna keep it super real with you. Keep it super 100 right now. There's gonna be some shitty fucking days. There's gonna be days where you're like, this was a terrible idea. And I'm not trying to discourage you. I just want to be honest with you, because I want you to recognize that it's not going to always be easy. And the universe has this crazy way. It's The Alchemist. And it's like when you, like I'm paraphrasing, but it's like when you decide you want something, the universe conspires to help you. And so, if you're unfamiliar with The Alchemist, it was a story of this young boy who was a sheep herder, and he goes to Egypt because he wants to go on this grand adventure. And he goes to Egypt, but during that path, there's like all these things that go wrong, and he's like, I want to go to the pyramids. This is what I want. This is what I always thought. And then he goes in and he learns so much, and then he ends up coming back. But the issue here that I'm trying, or the point that I'm trying to make with this, is that he got robbed. He like couldn't make it to the pyramids. He like had a lot of moments where like shit went south. Okay, so there's gonna be moments where things kind of get off the beaten path. So you might have moments where you are in the move. Like moving day was like the worst thing of my life. The elevator was broken. There was like so many things went wrong that day, and I was like, I'm not gonna let this stop me. I'm not gonna make this like make me feel like this is a bad day or this is a bad decision. Like this is just a shitty point, but we're gonna make it through. And we did. And I love where I live now, and it's like the best place, and I'm so content. I'm so joyful in the life that I've created within this area. Anyways, so there's gonna be some valleys. There's going to be peaks and there's going to be some valleys. And that peak's probably going to be like, I want to do this. I'm feeling empowered. I made the change. Shit's going. I'm like feeling like a boss. You're like doing the damn thing. And then there's going to be some like, you're going to crash. The bike's going to fall over. You're going to fall. You're going to skin your knee a couple times. And then you get back on. And that's really the summary of the story. You get back on the bike. And having the vision, having that goal that you are moving towards, not allowing yourself to get discouraged because things didn't happen in the exact timeline you thought it was going to, or in the exact way. Sometimes we have these ideas of what we want to create, but how we get there can drastically change. And sometimes, and I truly believe this, is that sometimes the universe has a better plan for us. And so opening yourself up to the magic of the world, listening to your intuition, letting that be the guide, being able to tune into your heart and really reflect, like, do I still get where I want to be, even if it's not the way I thought I was going to get there? Let me say it again. Like, am I still going to get where I want to be, even if it wasn't the way I thought that I would get there? Then in the end, does it really matter? Like, maybe those lessons, those moments where you faltered was meant to be. Those were destined for you because you needed to learn from them. You needed to skin your knee to remind yourself that you can put a Band-Aid on it, that you can get back up. You needed to be able to crash into some like terrible like dates in order to see what you like and you don't like in a partner. You needed to be able to almost go into neighborhoods maybe that you never thought that you would ever be, just to know where you don't want to be, or even to be able to show yourself or learn some lesson. Like I can't even begin to explain to you all the lessons that I've learned these last few years. It has been a roller coaster. Dating has been like obsolete. Perfectly frank. I left my marriage, and I was feeling so good. I was consciously single for a very long period of time, to be perfectly honest, because I wanted to heal. The healing, like so much of this is like, I want to heal. I want to be in this cocoon by myself and to reflect on what's occurred and how could I not recreate that in the future, and what parts did I enjoy, what did I appreciate about that partnership, and what are the parts that I want in something else and something new, and really being able to envision what I do want in a new partner, what I do want in a relationship, how do I want to feel with that next person. And if it's not that, I just say no. Just say no. Just say no, kids. Because and my friends say I'm really ruthless. Maybe I am a little bit, I don't know. But I was very fortunate to be in a loving relationship with my best friend. And if I can't recreate that, and obviously it's going to be different, but if I can't be with someone I trust and I care about, that I can laugh with, that I want to have fun with, well, who also turns me on, to be perfectly frank, and also provides and is a solid human being and is trustworthy, I don't want it. I don't want it. And so did I think that it was going to take a couple of years to be able to figure that out? No, but that's okay, because I think that this period in my life was created so that I could grow as an individual, so that I could really hone into what I wanted. Do I want this alpha male that I thought that I wanted in the past now? No. Recognizing that when you're an alpha female, you don't always want to have like some guy that you're having to butt up against. Like, maybe I want someone that's a little softer. Maybe I want someone that's a little bit more loving and is more, caring and like more of a nurturer. Maybe that's actually what I'm seeking, for someone to take care of me just as much as I take care of them. And that they're going to be a nice guy. I recognize I like nice guys. Like, I don't need some dickhead that's going to like be sarcastic after everything I say. Like, I want someone that's genuinely kind and is kind to other people as well as me. So anyways, I digress. But the reason why I digress is to show that I had to go on a few dates with different people to be able to really notice the things that I absolutely could not tolerate, and the things that I was like, oh wait, I never really have like been in this type of like partnership, or I've never really thought to date this type of guy, but I kind of like it. I like the way it makes me feel. I like the dynamic that I'm experiencing with this person in particular. And it's been an evolution. It's definitely been like a journey, and I'm still figuring it out, but I've definitely grown substantially from when this all began. And I've had a lot of fun along the way, and there's moments where I get a little discouraged, but hey, we just keep on trucking. I trust that there is a plan for me. I trust that there is a destiny for what I'm supposed to be creating within my life, and I believe wholeheartedly that God's got my back in my relationship, in my career, in my path, in every facet of the way. And as long as I trust myself, I trust my heart, I know it will never lead me astray. And I hope that you take the time to really be able to hone in what you want in order to stay true to that, so that you don't get distracted. The universe is always going to throw you a couple little are you going to fall into the old pattern? Are you going to do what you did before? Or are you going to do something new? Are you going to actually learn from that lesson? Are you going to move into that next version of who you are meant to be? And that's why the challenges are there. That's it. So that's all. Let's just struggle in life. Okay. Then, knowing that there's going to be good days and bad days, as they are across the world, everyone has good days and bad days. It's not all, peaches and cream. I don't know why that came to mind, but it's not all dessert. But giving yourself the freedom to have some peaches and cream every once in a while. Take yourself on vacation. Go on a solo trip. Give yourself time to reflect, slow down, have a day of rest, sleep in. Eat good food. Bring yourself joy. Listen to music that inspires you, that keeps you motivated on where you want to be. Take time to recharge, rejuvenate your soul, your body, and your mind, so that you can stay on this quest. You will get burnt out if you try to stick on this. Like I said, I changed every aspect of my life within 2 years. I literally flipped my entire world upside down. And I did so because I trusted in myself. But that was a lot. I went through a lot during that time. And I gave myself permission and the freedom to take a weekend off every once in a while, to unplug, to turn my phone off, to take time off of work, to take a bath. There was a period of time where I was taking Epsom salt baths every single night. And it was so necessary. I was my nervous system is literally on the brink of exploding. And I have to reset somehow. And I had to give myself the opportunity to be able to recalibrate. Because when you're constantly in fight or flight and you have cortisol constantly pumping into your system, it is overwhelming as fuck. When you're in new situations, learning constantly, having to figure out things that you've never done before, you're constantly being thrown into unfamiliar scenarios and having to navigate your way through them. This shit can be fucking intense. So give yourself time to slow it down, like have fun, like go hang out with your friends, create a community around you that supports you and believes in you. So much of this transition has been only available to me because I had an incredible network of people around me that believed in me. And my original network really got cut down a lot during this process because not everyone could understand it. And that's okay. And I care about those people. I love all of those people. But I don't think that they were meant to stay around, or at least for now. And I know that when the time comes, they'll be back. Or I've been so fortunate to be able to blossom other friendships that have really just like filled up my cup in ways I never even thought that I could. So I do encourage you to be able to create some solid network, a solid friend group, a solid couple people within your family that you can confide in, that you can talk to, that can be that sounding board when you're feeling confused, that sees the vision, that understands why you're doing this and why you want to do it, and believes that you can. Because some days when we're having bad days, it's nice to be able to have someone to tell you that you can keep going. And that if you need a day off, it's okay to have a day of rest, but next day you're going to get back at it. All right. I think that covers everything that I wanted to talk about. But just do a quick recap. Trusting yourself, reflecting, believing in whatever those little kind of nudges you're getting from within you to make a change in whatever area of your life that is, believing in them. And then from there, inquiring deeper, being able to understand what are these nudges, where are they directing me, where do I want to be, and how am I going to get there? And really breaking that down. And, things might shift and change a little bit, so just give the kind of omission, that kind of opportunity that if things do change, it's okay, the freedom, the flexibility to know that it doesn't have to be exactly this plan, but to have some kind of footing underneath you as you make the switch. And then know that there's going to be challenges. Try to look at them as lessons, look at them as moments of opportunities for growth. What can I learn from this? And it's easy to get down, it's easy to get depressed, it's easy to get sad or even angry and frustrated, and feel those feelings too, because those are all there for a reason. But know that those are the lessons, and then I'm going to keep growing, I'm going to keep evolving, and I'm going to that next stage, and this is how I'm going to get there. And it's true. And then when things get too much, take time to pull away, recharge, and also on a daily basis have rituals and things that you're doing that really helps kind of energetic hygiene of like recognizing what you need and don't need, taking moments to meditate if that's a part of your daily rituals, taking walks in nature, getting out of like the day-to-day grind just to be, leaning into that feminine energy is essential so that you can hear those whispers, you can hear that guidance. It keeps you on the path, because when you all ratchet it up and you're just like, oh, which I've been, just was it a couple weeks ago, like, take the time to slow down. Give yourself permission. It doesn't all have to happen today, and honestly, it's not going to. So there's no expectation. Relinquish those expectations that there's some specific way that this has to be, because at the end of the day, it's going to be the way that it's meant to be. Thank you for joining me. I hope this is helpful. Sending all of you guys so much love. Mwah. I will see you soon. Namaste.